Now that's some utter woke nonsense, isn't it? Wait a moment. I completely forgot stuff. I'm retarded. By the way, belated Happy Palm Sunday to anyone. Oh no, I streamed actually 2 days ago. I don't really I don't really use this account, but now I kind of have to like this post here, and I probably should stop the freaking background music, which is, I think, is very appropriate for Holy Week. Oh, sacred head now wounded. Oh my gosh. Oh, I don't follow him on this account, and that's a shame. As I said, I say as I said, but I didn't say anything. I'm kind of paranoid about the whole 4chan situation. Oh gosh. I'm kind of scared about the whole 4chan situation. Not the 4chan situation itself, but I'm scared putting anything up about it on stream about it. Because what? Well, because I'm kind of scared that they that there's anything dox containing doxy, anything doxy, anything sus, anything what else could there be? Oh, that's essentially what I mean. What did I want to say? I'm so unprepared. I wanted to say something, and I wanted to test something. Now I remember. I remember that. I have to. It's a shame that I can't really open. Or can I? I'm thinking about, can I open Word documents without doxing myself? I'm not too sure. But what I'm going to do someday in the future, Book of Occasional Offices is definitely on the list. But I'm not sure whether I'm going to do it on stream. Whether I'm going to do it on stream or whether I'm gonna post it on as a video. Well, you know, because obviously that's something that you probably want to be able to properly think about and cut as necessary. I don't want to accidentally make any cringe theological statement, you know. By the way, speaking of cringe theological statements, I was going through my my Streamlabs recordings, and then I found, I think it's maybe this one where I started spurring about theology, which, so I probably should continue. No, it's not that one. Is it that one? So I called this whole thing, and where I start spurring about the sacraments and whatnot. But obviously, like, theology is a nice area of study, I'm inclined to say. Amogus. I'm wasting so much time. I should stop. I want to go to bed in like 2 hours. So let's move the frick on. Speaking of moving on, I noticed, and speaking of freaking stream clips, I noticed that there's still a bunch of videos, or not a bunch of videos, but there's at least one video which I already recorded, equipped with a freaking thumbnail, and I haven't uploaded yet. It's the segment about Perry. By the way, that's like half a year ago, and by now he's already changed his freaking who, as I said, I don't want to get anything sus on my. So you can already see a bit here what I've prepared for today. As I said, mostly some reaction slop. I think I posted as much. Gosh, I haven't made a YouTube video in like 2 years. It's a shame. I should do YouTube videos again, but they take so much time. No, not really much time. I probably should. I'm probably gonna stop streaming until like break, if I even have any proper break. Or maybe I'm gonna stream over Easter a bit, but during like a normal uni week. Okay, maybe on a Friday, maybe on a Saturday, maybe on a Sunday. Who knows? Maybe on a Tuesday. Who knows? I'm not gonna stream. I should stop promising stuff that I'm not gonna fulfill. You know. What did I actually want to say? I'm so disorganized. White lives matter. Okay, true. All lives matter, as the real Sigma males say. So I someday last week, Mr. Girl announced released a freaking podcast episode, which will be of interest. And then I recently had another video on my homepage, which I kind of found to be interesting. But but in a negative sense. I think we'll just start the first segment and then hopefully move on to the other segment. So I probably should. So as I just announced earlier, Mr. Girl, who you may know for from his fame or infamy, if you will, um, especially on some specific Netflix production, and I just, oh my gosh, I need to write an email. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. Very professional start into this segment. But Mr. Girl, right? He was for a certain period of time a Destiny associate. Like, I don't really like the term orbiter, but because it's kind of like weird. Like, Destiny is not like some sort of planet or whatever, where all the other creators turn around, orbit around to be more precise. But yeah, he collaborated, I think, with Destiny, but they've had their falling out. And I don't really remember who was in the right. Probably neither of them. Doesn't really matter. Anyway, Mr. Girl has uploaded this video, this interview, on his podcast. Mr. Carson, Mr. Max Carson. I suppose that's probably a Swedish name. I would have to guess. I don't know. Some Scandinavian name. But I would say it sounds Swedish. Doesn't matter, does it? I don't know whether you remember the DDoS kid situation, where Destiny essentially threatened to kill a kid who DDoSed him. It's kind of in the name, and I think his father too. And he kind of made this point about, yeah, but he basically was threatening my existence. So I was like, I said, okay, I think I would have the right to kill you, and so on and so on and so on and so on. That's how he essentially told the story. But in reality, I think it turned out, I think he admitted as much himself, that he was actually planning to go the trip to their house and whatnot. So it's kind of a bit more unhinged, not like some sophistry, some debate nonsense, you know, as they say.
All right, so it's good to finally meet you.
I hope.
The DDoS kid.
Yeah, I'm referred to as DDoS kid. It's been a long time. It's a long time in the past. Full disclosure for the people listening, me and Max have talked previously about setting this up, and I was hesitant about coming forward due to my job.
I'm quite curious whether we are going to be presented with any proper proof and information that this actually is the DDoS kid. But I'm quite curious to see his side of the story. I think Destiny recently spoke about it. Maybe we should react to it as well in this video too. I'm not too sure. But let's see.
And, threats that I received from Destiny personally and from his community back then. And, I don't want to get...
As I said, I was kind of under the impression, because, I mean, that's quite a long time ago, and I can't remember a lot of drama. And I'm not even sure whether I was aware of Destiny back then, or if I was, whether I actively watched him. Probably not. I mean, it must have been quite some time ago. Was it? Probably not. Probably not. So I was always under a kind of wrong impression of the whole situation. I thought that it was like more of an abstract thing, like maybe, okay, I'm gonna kill you, but not like more serious threats,
Get caught up or like be famous online or anything like that. So the reason you're not seeing my face, that's the reason why. So just for the people audience listening, but yeah. So I came forward to Max and kind of told him that I was a DDoS kid, leaving a comment, hoping he would believe me. And then he did get in contact with me and shared a part of my story. And so this is like a telling of that story and what happened. Now, for clarity, I will say that as far as like the dates and age exactly, I don't know, and I'm sure Max has more links. So I am a young.
According to the dates I have, this would be the spring of 2011, so you would be 15.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. Okay. 2011. Okay, no, I didn't watch it. Did I watch any YouTube back in the day, even, or anything of that sort? I think I watched some YouTube, but most certainly not Destiny. Was he even on YouTube already back then, or was he still on on Twitch. Was it even Twitch already, or was it still? I just my microphone peaked because I yelled into it. Or was it still Justin TV? I couldn't even tell that much.
Yes, and so yeah, I'm testing. Yeah, that sounds about right. That's right, because I wasn't out of high school yet, and I had been involved with a group on Xbox Live that like we learned how to boot host, we learned how to do like man in the middle and phishing operations. But I was very like brand new, green, completely like just like I didn't know anything. And anyway, I picked up StarCraft because
Okay, as I at least that part I remember correctly. It was during the StarCraft days, back in the day, you know.
so one of my friends started playing, and I found this guy Destiny. He was playing the game, and as I was watching Destiny, I noticed he would get upset. He's like the typical like easy bait troll. Like you can easily like he loses the game, he screams, pounds the keyboard or whatever. I mean, not realistically, but like you can see he gets flustered. So I just thought, oh, this would be a funny this would be a funny prank. I'm gonna DDoS this guy.
I obviously don't avow any sort of such DDoS and whatever, but like I think we'll have to watch the rest of the story, because as I remember the story being told by Destiny, it was like that he essentially made his internet completely unusable. Not like a one-off or maybe 2 or 3 times prank, but like I'm almost going to say life-ruining kind of DDoS attack, you know? Like attack upon attack upon attack, so that Destiny was essentially robbed of his internet connection, which he needed. Yeah, but that would be quite interesting. As I said, I used to be more up to date on the law, and in general, I'm not following too much YouTube drama anymore these days, because I have better things to do. Am I right? I'm better than you. I'm better than all of you. No, just kidding. I'm not. I'm worse.
It was purely for a bait reason. And the total number of times, and this is me guessing maximum. And this is like it could
pause any moment.
It could be anywhere between 4 times all the way up to 10 times, and I doubt it was even 10 times.
Okay, you see, 4 to 10 times. As I said like 1, 2, 3, like 4, but even 10. Like I wasn't necessarily harping on the fact that it must have been a handful at most, but more so that it should have been a countable number of times, not so basically that we are dealing with like distinct instances of DDoSing, right? Like 10 times, and not like 10 times a day or 10 times an hour or constantly. You know what I mean?
Because like I said, I was a kid. I left stupid like trail markers so that he could find my name. I believe I had my full name on Skype or something. And
oh gosh, no OPSEC. This 15-year-old didn't have OPSEC.
And I had not my full name, my partial name, like a username that I go by. I had that, and people figured it out, and also had people in the community.
Yeah, you can get doxed so easily, right?
Who were able to pull my IP address. So
what can you even do with an IP address? I know that always the implication is, okay, you can DDoS them, you can find out the address. Okay, that's something. Although I remember back, gosh, sorry, I dropped my phone, and my chair is squeaking again. I need to oil it, or maybe I should just reposition myself a bit. I remember back in the day when I was young, right? Back in the good old days, I remember sitting in like a computer room. I don't know. I don't think was it a computer science class or something else? I'm not sure. But we were looking like into DDoSing and this and that, and I was looking into it at home. But I don't know. I don't think I have ever DDoSed someone. But those were certainly days, because you didn't really know. You knew you could do a lot of things with your computer, but you didn't really know exactly what. Like it was like a mysterious time. Hi-ass, the good old days, right? Playing like these browser games when you're actually supposed to do something in school, look something up. Yeah, the computer room days, those were something. But I think nowadays they just have like these weird tablets / laptops. In like, at least they had them like in the later days of my time in school, like in the last 2 years before I graduated, or maybe the last 3. They had like these laptop tablet thingies in like cases and like metal cases, almost like, I don't know, reminded me of the airport, and they just basically hold them into the classrooms whenever needed, and every kid would get one of these thingies and then work there. So I don't really know whether they probably still use computer rooms, but you know, back when I was young, I remember when I was in elementary school, we had like one computer inside our classroom, and that was something. But we also had, I think, a computer room in elementary school, but I'm not too sure. That was certainly something. It's so old, and I have to think of all the old hardware and software. And I'm going on a tangent once again. It's a shame. It's really shameful behavior if you really think about it. Maybe I should. I don't know whether I can adjust my microphone aside. Ooh, gosh, almost ripped out my headphone. I'm not sure whether I can adjust my microphone as such as that I could. Wait. Oh, sorry. I'm currently just rearranging something here. I'm very sorry. Whether I can rearrange it in such a way that I can actually use it while standing, because my legs are hurting, my back is hurting, and everything is hurting. Like, I should become a NEET again, and just spend all my days in bed, because like the seats and freaking lecture halls and stuff, they kill me, dog. But let's continue.
I booted them offline. Like I said, this is not for anybody that's tech savvy. Basically, what you got to do is switch your IP to dynamic, unplug your router, plug it back in, and then bada boom, bada bing, you're back. Maybe like a 5-minute wait max. You're all back online again. You're playing StarCraft, you're streaming, and I did this a couple times to him, and you could see him, be getting at, and that's as a teenager, that was like kind of exciting.
Let's be right. Let's be real. Baiting people, especially if you're younger, just makes so much fun, and I hope the audio isn't completely fricked up by me changing my position. But like, baiting people, I remember when I was young, back in the day, just saying outrageous stuff that you don't even believe, just to get a reaction out of people. It obviously can certainly backfire. Like there's stuff I said that I don't particularly would like to be connected to my name nowadays, but it's probably it's gonna be like not that I'm gonna run for office any day, but if I did, like I'm completely sure that they would dig up dirt about me, and I have to stand there to explain like the humor, the funny irony of like a terminally online teenager. I would say like maybe early 20s, but I kind of think like this trolley behavior kind of gets shut off like once you turn 20 or maybe 21. Not necessarily all trolley behavior, but like a certain kind of behavior. I don't know. I just think that's the case. Correct me if I'm wrong.
And I, like I said, naive and stupid, and I apologize. I should have done it. It was, like I said, I
right.
It,
As I said, just because something is understandable doesn't mean that it's necessarily also justifiable or justified. But I think, like, yes, this fella was 15. Like, 15 is certainly an age where you know that it's wrong, where you could be held criminally liable even. But I mean, come on, a 15-year-old. Like, who hasn't done stupid things when they were young and now just remember like former Prime Minister May talking about how she ran through a field or something like that. Just imagine that I put up this clip.
So I recommend not doing it. But the reaction that I got from Destiny and some of his followers, I'm not going to include all of them, but a few of them went above and beyond what is an acceptable like response. Like, he was able to find me out pretty quickly. I would say within 24 hours, 24 to 48 hours. find out who I was, my phone number, my name, my family's name, where I went to school. But so the normal reaction would be, I'm a kid still, so call my dad and be like, Mr. So and Mr. DDoS's kid's father, your son is engaging in activity that's annoying me and is illegal, and he would have spanked me, or I would have been grounded, and that would have been that. No, instead what he does is he,
exactly, and this is also a part of the story that I think gets told by Destiny and his defenders, and I think, as I said, we should just accept all these informations that are given here, as long as they are not provided with some extra information, extra proof or whatever. We should just take them as claims, just as we take Destiny's claims. But that also means that we should not say we trust Destiny more than this guy over here, especially since we know what Destiny is kind of up to sometimes, and that maybe he's not always the most trustworthy person either. But what I wanted to say, if I remember correctly, the Destiny, we probably should have watched a video about the DDoS kid before watching a video with the DDoS kid. Maybe I can do this at a later time. But if I remember correctly, Destiny essentially made it look like, or made it sound like, that he contacted the father and contacted him again, and he just didn't want to do it. He was all against Destiny. All the world was against Destiny, right? All the world, the father of the DDoS kid, everyone was out to get Destiny. And then he just couldn't do anything. But as he is presenting it here, it seems like the Destiny in his community went to the DDoS kid himself first, and started basically harassing him. You can say that this harassment was justified, at least excusable. I'm not going to make any judgment about it yet, but it sounds like that they went instantly to him instead of trying to essentially get his dad to spank him, which I would endorse, by the way, in whatever video game you will. But yeah, sorry liberals, but here we believe that some kids just need a lesson. Really, I mean, unironically, not necessarily. No. I'm not gonna say anything controversial, but I think sometimes you just deserve it. Sorry. If that offends you. Now, I'm mostly just kidding, but I think that spanking is I think that's something that should be up to any parent to decide in a reasonable within reasonable boundaries, not actually injure your kid, but you don't have to spank your kid. But I think if you do, and if you do it for justifiable reasons, and if you do it in a reasonable, as I said, within reasonable boundaries, I think I'm not going to condemn you for it, and I think you should not be condemned in a court of law, or in the court of public opinion, for that matter.
He starts calling my house phone over and over and over again, and my dad had answered and heard him and told him, we understand your concern. DDoS kid promises not to do this again.
So, okay. So I have to correct myself. He actually reached the father, and the father said, "Everything's all right. I'm gonna deal with my boy, and he's not gonna do it again." Right? So Destiny claimed, and as I said, I hope I'm not gonna misrepresent it, but I'm certain that Destiny claimed that the father just didn't want to do anything, so I just had to threaten to kill him. My hands were tied. I just had to issue murder threats on the internet, or on the phone, I suppose.
We won't bother you, and that didn't satisfy him. So my dad is off on a business trip, and this is I would say a day later. after we talked to him initially, and then he's calling my house again, and he's saying, calling me, telling me my address, telling me that he's got friends and that he's thinking about buying a gun, coming to my house, and that he knows where my sister goes to school, and that he's gonna come drive to my house. He's gonna murder me, my father, my brother, my sister, and my mother, and he's gonna rape my mother and my sister.
What? 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 I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What the Sigma? What the Sigma? He's going to... What the... If that's true, that's truly unhinged. Like the murder part, the murder part is obviously... The murder part, I'm not going to say... Once again, I'm not going to say it's justifiable. I'm not even going to say it's excusable. But like... at least the justification on Destiny's side for the murder, for the alleged murder threats, were like, okay, he's threatening my livelihood, and I have a right to defend my livelihood by deadly force. There's no other more, any milder mean to achieve this goal and whatnot. But like, that's just revenge, and not even proper, quote unquote, proper revenge. But like, okay, I can understand that you say, okay, this guy is threatening my livelihood. I'm going to murder him because then he can't threaten my livelihood again. That would at least achieve the goal of Destiny. Not that it would be justifiable or excusable in the eyes of the law or in the eyes of morality, but it would at least do something to achieve the goal. But what is Ray raping his mother and sister going to do about the DDoS situation? Especially considering that, unless we are going to get more information, it seems like... oh yeah, especially since it seems like the father had already told the DDoS kid to stop the DDoSing, right? So what's there to threaten anymore? Destiny's wife is threatening his livelihood. I think I'm inclined to say which one, but I think is his second divorce through already. I think so. I think she's back in Sweden at least.
Because I'm ruining his life. And as you can imagine, he was a streamer at the time making money, but even if it was 10 times the amount of money lost was, let's say at max $500. It's well beyond. And he had a clear overt motive. He told me that he was going to buy a gun from his local gun store, and that he had already MapQuest out. I think MapQuest or Google Maps my house. I forget exactly which one he said, but that he was going to drive to my house, and at the middle of the night he was just going to come in and kill my family.
What?
Immediately hung up the phone.
You see, that's what I mean. The situation that this DDoS kid presents, or this alleged DDoS kid, because obviously we don't know for sure that it's actually him, and the narrative that's told by Destiny is like worlds apart. Like, Destiny is first and foremost telling the whole story as essentially proving a point hyperbolically, and also it being about like essentially defending his income with deadly force, like his livelihood. But the story that we are presented here by the DDoS kid sounds like a proper case of revenge, like, right?
I think I engaged verbally back and forth.
Do you remember what he said?
I basically was like, kind of like you would say back in the old Xbox Live days, yeah, fuck you, yeah, you don't know shit, just kind of, because I had dealt with kids on Xbox Live, my dad's the CEO of Microsoft, my dad's the CEO of Halo, we're gonna come get you, the FBI's gonna arrest you. So at first,
Classic.
I kind of like, brushed it off, but then he called.
Today I thought the feds were at the bus, at my bus, because like there were people like wearing sunglasses and whatnot. I was like, they're out to get me. They've seen that I've I don't know, liked some tweet that said that, I don't know, something controversial. I don't know. The feds were out to get me, but I escaped, even as a bird. Yeah, okay, you know. The gang stalking, they're gang stalking me. The feds. They saw that I liked a tweet about, I don't know, that I didn't like that I don't know, the IDF bombed like an Anglican hospital. Or something like this, and now they're out to get me. He's calling back again, and he's really really threatening me. And then I started going online to check his
his stream and seeing what people are saying, and people are agreeing that he needs, he needs to do something. He needs to call the police. He needs to find me. He needs to hurt me. And
Like calling the police is a. I'm not gonna say that's something I would do. Like this sounds like something that can be solved like on a I'm going to talk to your father level, as he did. But I mean, technically, if you talk to the father and then the DDoS kid continued to do the DDoSing, then obviously, yeah, go to the police. But like, go to the police. Period. When you get killed, yeah, right. Yeah. What did I want to say? Like, call the police. Like, he presented it like, yeah, okay, this would have been my last resort to actually murder him. But, like, maybe contact the police first. Maybe get the feds involved. I don't know. Like, it's over the internet, so it should reasonably be a federal matter. Like, interstate commerce and such. Although I could go on a rant now about the Commerce Clause, how it's getting expanded quite unduly, in my opinion. Like, you should actually read a couple of laws and then think, okay, how does Congress have the jurisdiction here? And then you find out that they claim it to be the Commerce Clause, because essentially, I don't know, was it under FDR where the Supreme Court essentially said that, okay, technically, if something could affect just interstate commerce, it's covered by the Commerce Clause, which is ridiculous. Like, there was a case where like a farmer was growing, I don't know, some kind of grain for his own animals, for his own livestock, and he wasn't even selling it within his state, let alone across state boundaries. And they still said, yes, but it could in some sense affect interstate commerce, so Congress has the authority to legislate and to regulate it. It's ridiculous.
So when my dad gets back from the business trip, I tell my father, and my father then messages Destiny through email, and emails him and says that what my son told my son has said that he had stopped doing this, and I had stopped doing it, and that you need to calm down and not harass us any further. And I
Totally reasonable.
Him and my father, or my father says that he remembers that Destiny said he was recording him. I wasn't privy to this. I think I stepped out of the room because of embarrassment. I didn't want to, I didn't want to know what was kind of happening, but I also kind of want to do something outside the door.
Oh, it's kind of loud.
Verbally shouting that he was going to, I could hear him shouting. I couldn't hear what he said. So, and my dad hangs up the phone, and he blocks the number. And so this is the second time he's blocked. Now he's using a spoof number to call off my house. And then there's a separate part of the story that happens.
Wait a second, I kind of have to figure out.
So basically, when he's looking for me initially, when he finds out who my sister is, he calls a school that I didn't go to and finds a kid whose name is similar to mine, and he calls his family and makes the same threats, against his family, that he's going to buy a gun, he's going to drive down and murder that kid, and then rape and kill his mother and sister, and the two, and so that kid's father gets in touch with my father because my sister comes home, like crying, being like, some kid at school said that there's this like kid that's gonna like rape me, and so my dad gets in touch with this other kid who has got.
I'm sorry, kind of have to figure something out, but it doesn't really work. Gosh darn it. How can I'm gonna lose my frig mind, mate. Gonna lose my mind, mate. Weird. So weird. So freaking weird. Like something is not working in my audio setup, I suppose. I hope there's no echo or something. But it has to be done some way. I cannot talk because I'm tired. I shouldn't stream at such times.
And this kid, I believe, baited. I wasn't privy to this. I believe he baited, had back and forth with Destiny, angered him, was like, fuck you. I'm like,
okay, so there's another kid involved.
It was not him who was DDoSing him. He just said that.
Right. Because he was like, And this, as far as I know, I never met the kid, but from my understanding from my sister is this kid is typical gamer type, me at my age, basically. I think he was a year or two older than me, and so he was less scared of the threats, and so he was, like just talking shit to him, and then. And so those kind of converge, just to reconnect the point, those kind of converge right when he's finding out who I am. And so eventually, when he does figure out that he is talking to me, not the other.
Yeah. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna drink coffee because then I cannot sleep at all. It's gonna kill me. Like I have my alarm set to 6 p.m. Uh, Mondays to Fridays, which I don't really have to do, but I kind of feel like if I wake up any later than that, okay, maybe I could wake up at like I don't know when, um, but I feel like when you're waking up at a decent time, then you have way more of your day, right? Um, I kind of feel like if I'm especially like on a weekend or whatever, when you wake up at like 9, maybe 10, I mean your morning is essentially gone. Your noon essentially turned into a second morning. The afternoon, I don't know. It's kind of weird. I don't like it. Um, yeah. That's the real Sigma grind set. Someone talked about it recently, and you know how many people in America nowadays take like an upper in the morning and a downer in the night. That's not healthy. Like what the Sigma? Like I will take whatever I want. This is America. This is not America. But yeah, you don't really have to overdo it. I think. And also, I'm not really that much of a coffee soul. Um, I was recently like on like during the weekend on like a church event, right? For from Friday to Sunday, not last weekend, but a couple of weeks ago. Like when was it? I don't remember. Um, Maybe a month ago. I think pretty much a month ago. And I drank so much coffee. I normally don't drink any coffee at all, but I didn't sleep too well, and always the coffee was just everywhere at any time. I just oh I could drink a cup of coffee and like with like 10 gallons of milk in it. Like you barely even taste the coffee. I was like jokingly saying, "Oh, time to drink a bit of milk with coffee again." Ha ha ha! I'm so funny. Totally not boomer humor. But and also I essentially drank more coffee during that weekend than I do like normally in like easily a year at least, or like 2 years or something like that. And I also ate much more, because obviously there was like sometimes there was just normal food, but obviously during like Sunday and also Saturday, because there were ordinations, so there was a bit more, let's say, a bit more something special. And I actually um, don't have to tell anyone, but I kind of broke my fasting rules on that Saturday. My Palm Sunday was okay actually, was pretty good. Uh, I I mean I did a test stream and stuff like this. Um, and in general, I think my Sunday was okay, especially since I didn't have to do anything anything. Um, because like a couple of weeks ago when I was like still writing stuff, like writing this and writing that, I didn't really have the time to afford to have a proper Sunday. But I know what did I do on Palm Sunday other than the normal stuff. Like I played like a bit of Armor, and I forgot what I even did. And I ate something and I went to church and whatnot. I don't know. It was certainly something. But I actually broke my fast on that Saturday because I tried to, since I think last Lent or the Lent before, to not only abstain from meat on Fridays but on all 40 days of Lent. So obviously Lent, so all the days of Lent minus Sundays and solemnities. Um, but I didn't do it then because obviously, like, essentially, okay, the food is already paid for, and I don't want to be. Yeah, that's something nice. I'm also abstaining from my main Twitter account, which is such a weird fasting rule. So that's why you only see me currently on there on like Sundays. So you see me on Easter again, and I have to change my name to Easter Pilt. And I have to change my profile picture, because obviously that's not really appropriate for the joyous occasion of our Lord's resurrection, right? So
that happens back when I said there was all these phone calls when my dad left, and there was all these phone calls coming in. That's when he found out that this was me, that I was the real DDoS kid, not the other kid he had been talking to. And
so it turns out that there was like a confusion, an error in persona, as the Latin speaker and the lawsel would say. An error in persona. Oh, that's another. I'm not gonna start spurging on like criminal law, but the error in persona is quite interesting. I don't know how much it exists in common law, but common law has at least the doctrine of transferred intent. And I would say that error in persona, or to be more precise, error in persona vel objecto, so error in person or in object, may just be a subcategory of transferred intent, I would say. So, kind of.
It was just persistent, and I think it went on for. I think the messages and harassment went on for a week. I think he said they tried to call Judge Judy and get a case, a case against me and sue me. But what really unnerved me was, the incessant threats of the rape. They're going to murder you. How real do you take that? When someone says that when they list out your address and say they're going to rape your mother and your sister, and they're going to do it at a specific date, that was really.
That's not nice. So if anyone watches this video, I want you to know, do not tell people that you're going to rape them, unless you actually follow through on. Just kidding. Don't tell people that you're going to rape them. Don't rape anyone. Rape is bad. Can we get a rape bet in the chat? Sorry. Rape L. We don't like rape here. Yes. Sorry. I should stop making jokes that I have to laugh about myself.
My dad got nervous, and he bought a 12-gauge shotgun for the house, and made sure to lock the doors at night. And what?
We love shotguns, don't we, folks? We love shotguns. We love them. And now he didn't even tell us what kind of shotgun. Like, was it a double barrel shotgun? Was it a pump action? Was it a semi-auto? Was it like a single barrel break action? Like, what is this Russian model called? I forgot. Does anyone remember the Russian single barrel break action shotgun? It's at the tip of my tongue. I completely forgot its name. But that probably really sucks for home defense, because if you miss, you're kind of out of luck. Like, at least a double barrel shotgun has the opportunity. And I was recently thinking about what kind of gun I would get if I lived in Austria, without like a weapons possession card. So what category C firearm would I get for home defense? And if I lived in Austria, and I was thinking I would probably get a lever action rifle. A lever action rifle and a double barrel shotgun, and then apply for like a weapons possession card and get like a semi-auto pistol and a semi-auto rifle. That's probably what I would get if I lived in Austria, because at least they allow people to own guns for self-defense and have actually quite a better gun law than the Federal Republic of Germany. If only there was like a YouTube video on the gun laws in Austria, and multiple videos on the gun laws in Germany. If only. And
then the chilling part was.
I think pistols are already are obviously good for actual carrying, but they wouldn't be my first choice for home defense. Although I mean, there are people who really like them because they are. I think if you can get a concealed carry permit, which you should be able, since what decision was it? Was it Bruin? that where the Supreme Court established that shall issue carry licenses are the minimum for every state. But I think even for home defense, I think the primary weapon in most cases should be a long gun. But like if you also have a pistol for home defense, it cannot really be too bad, right? It's always good to stay strapped or get clapped, as they say. Or I cannot think of any proper rhyme. Stay armed or get harmed. Get a grenade or get whatever. Although grenades are obviously quite restricted anywhere, because I could go on and on about like the philosophy behind even the Second Amendment, how it's at least in jurisprudence essentially about self-defense and not about like militia, which is kind of interesting because it kind of turned around the jurisprudence, because back in the day it was like only about a 22 AR style long rifle and shoulder breaking family heirloom 12 gauge hunting shotgun. I mean that's I always like to say that's better than nothing, right? And like you know how the boomer fads talk about like, oh, the 22 is the deadliest round because it wiggles in the body or something like this. But obviously, I mean, it's also deadly. Like obviously like these people overstate like the effectiveness of the 22, but other people underestimate it. Like if it was just a toy, it would be like in the toy gun section, but it's obviously not. It can kill. At least like it can kill humans too, I think. I don't remember which country it was, but I think some countries special forces unit actually use 22 pistols with suppressors because they are particularly silent. I mean 22 rifles with suppressors are quite silent too. I think you can. I'm not too sure whether you can shoot them without hearing protection, but I really need to get a hunting license so that I can start hoarding firearms and obviously go hunting, because I would not dare to buy guns for any other purpose than what is prescribed in law. I did not watch it. I did not watch Breaking Bad. I only know about Breaking Bad from some references, from like memes or whatever. Yeah, because I'm very uncultured. I only watch. I was about to say I only watch anime, but I don't really watch anime that much anymore. I don't really watch anything, any real entertainment apart from YouTube. And even on YouTube, I started watching like study videos and whatnot. It's a shame. I recently watched like a video about objective attribution in penal law. The memes convinced me to watch Breaking Bad. I mean, I think it's quite interesting. So I'm certainly gonna watch it someday. But what the Sigma is bro waffling about? What the frick are you talking about, Jesse? I know this one, and I think a Family Guy referenced it too. I haven't watched Family in a long time either. I haven't watched Family in a long time either.
Is when I saw the video of him, like a self-confession. I guess you would know more about this than me, but it's kind of a self-confession video, and I'm sure linked it, where he talks about this deranged state that he was in. He was in this manic state, and he really was going to harm.
Oh, I did troll the shit out of the DDoS kid. That's one of the people, like, legitimately, like, I was so, you have no, like, it's actually kind of scary, like, how close I was to getting people together to go down to his house to kill him and his family. Or it would have just been him and his father. I don't think I didn't know anything about. Dude, that was some of the most fucked up shit in my entire life. I was so.
Just kill, or or did you also want to? I'm curious whether we are going to see any proof on the rape threats towards the mother and the sister. Obviously, people on the internet are quite fond of rape reviews. So if we if we can anything, if we can get anything on that, that would be interesting. But I mean, this is already quite differently to the way Destiny presented it like a couple of years afterwards, where it was like, I think to remember him explaining it in a more calm and collected manner, and not like, oh, you don't remember, you wouldn't even, couldn't even imagine how close I was to get a bunch of people together and murder him and his father. Ugh. Didn't really have that in my memory, but maybe I just forgot a skull emoji because I'm just a forgetful.
So fucking close to doing it. But I was making so much money on Twitch, and I don't know if Nathan was involved in it yet, but for whatever reason, I decided that the current life I had wasn't worth the risk of. Oh my god, I was so close to this fucking address. I had fucking streets mapped out and fucking every. You have no fucking idea. That's
Oh, yeah.
Interest in, like, owning a weapon. I got
Oh, yeah.
and everything.
Oh yeah, I think I remember this part, but it didn't really. I don't know. I remember watching this, but I didn't really remember in what a manner he said all of this, right?
Holy fuck.
And when I saw that, it made my blood curdle, and I kind of was like paralyzed in fear, and especially seeing some of his biggest supporters actively encouraging his faith.
I mean, that's kind of understandable. Like, if someone tells you, yeah, I'm gonna kill you or whatnot, and I have your address or whatever, and he's telling you that like in over phone or like in DMs, I'm reacting to the Mr. Girl, who is obviously a controversial figure himself, interview with the DDoS kid, who DDoSed Destiny back in the day. What did I want to say? But it's obviously quite a substantial difference whether you are like whether someone threatens you like over like individual communication, especially over the internet, because we all know how we talk on the internet. So on private communication, right? Or whether someone is willing to publicly state, I was so close to killing this guy, and you know that this person has your address, that this person, I think at this time, I don't know whether he owned a firearm, but at least was thinking about owning a firearm. You know, that I can understand how this situation makes the threat feel more believable or feel more imminent, you know?
Behavior I thought was above and beyond. And so that's where, and so eventually after that, all communicate, block everything. My dad blocked emails, phones. We told the phone company to stop giving us random like phone calls. I think we changed our number. And so I'll stop there and let you ask any questions that you may have.
I can truly understand this feeling. Not that anything to that extent has ever happened to me, but like I have I don't know how to put it, like, not that I've been ever doxxed or whatever, but just the feeling of doxing, I'm pretty sure feels like a small disaster, right? And then imagine someone with a huge following, or at least for the time, like back in the day, we didn't even have really anything. Back in the day after the war, like the internet was a barren place. It was a desert, right? It was like Israel, the children of Israel in the wilderness. There was nothing around. We didn't have anything. But imagine some relatively relevant figure just is like, okay, yeah, I'm going to kill you and your father. I'm gonna rape your mother and I'm gonna rape your sister. I probably shouldn't have said it like from a first person point of view, but now here we go.
Did you DDoS him after he contacted you at all the first time?
Yeah, I think I may have DDoSed him one time after. I did, yeah, because I wasn't sure if he was real, if this was
Yeah.
somebody playing a prank.
I mean, a 15-year-old, like as I said, don't DDoS people. We have already established here that we shouldn't rape people, that we shouldn't threat to rape other people, and that we shouldn't DDoS people. So, bad kid, but like he was 15. Yeah, I own myself. I recently rewatched like a clip where I was allegedly I got clipped one time when I was laughing about someone and something, and it looked like I was laughing about a certain quite publicized death, which I obviously wasn't. But what did I want to say? Like, yeah, a 15-year-old kid, like, I don't endorse doxing. he probably should have doxing. Doxing. I don't endorse doxing either. I don't endorse DDoSing, and he probably should have been smart enough to stop after the first warning. But like it's a 15-year-old kid, or it was. So maybe calm a bit down.
If this was somebody playing a prank, if he was serious, if this was for the channel.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did DDoS him one time after, but very quickly I learned that he was not pranking, he was not joking.
Okay.
So that's so I'm trying to be completely honest.
Yeah.
I'm not like I'm not absolved of all sins. I did do things wrong, and I did mishandle the situation.
Right.
On certain parts.
Yeah, I actually spoke about this relatively to the beginning of the stream, but I was kind of I'm still kind of scared of pulling anything about it up, because I'm too scared that I'm going to accidentally like publish the doxes of the Jennies or some not safe for stream content. But yeah, I heard that the Jennies were like using education and government. Okay, it's not dot, but .edu and .gov email addresses, which obviously the people started spurring about. Oh, they're fads and whatnot. I don't know. I haven't looked too much into it. I saw a bit of it on the farms recently. I probably should look into it more, but also, for example, Kiwi Farms is also another website that I want to pull up on stream, because they obviously have a quite more liberal CPU TOS than YouTube. So I don't really want to get my channel nuked. Fortune has fallen, said Paper Jack. Yes. Fortune has fallen. I mean, it's gonna get I don't know. I remember being quite regularly on 4chan back in the day. Not that often, but I mean, do people still use it as much? Like, already a couple of years ago, I essentially only started going on there if something happened. Like, if something happened, some happening, if it was like of a more just a political nature, I checked poll. If it was like some military happening, I went on K. But really actively browsing 4chan is something I didn't really... Oh. Oh. Yeah, I don't really think I posted much on it. I see before my inner eye that I posted on like a couple of threads, but I mostly just read stuff back in the day. And I used to say back in the day when I was a bit more terminally online, I was like, yeah, I'm getting a balanced media diet. I go on Poll and on Lefty Poll, and well, that was basically my joke. But I wasn't yesterday. Like, I saw someone who was on his phone, and he was like on Twitter, and he had like, I didn't even know that you could have like the communities you join on your like when normal people sorry, where other people have for you and following. I didn't know that you could also have like the communities you were in, and he was like in the Lefty Poll Twitter community. Is Lefty Poll still a thing? Is BunkerChan still a thing? Are all these websites still a thing? Is 8chan still a thing? I'm not really too up to date anymore these days. Oh, 8chan. I remember someone whom I knew from Discord posting like some complete schizo thread on 8chan. That was certainly something. Yeah.
Do you remember how this affected you once you started taking his threats more seriously?
Yeah. Yeah. Like as I'm even talking right now, I know I'm not on camera, but like you can hear my voice. But he's like shaking. I'm actually, still worried about what him and his community can do. They are very serious people, and I know that, or at least in my opinion, I'm not a doctor, but he's got some kind of anger problem, and I have a step.
I didn't know that. You're telling me now for the first time that Destiny may have had some.
And when he gets angry, he kind of gets in these manic states, and I like really do kind of like feel. I felt like I was like at any moment, like a kid being bullied at school, like you kind of are paralyzed in fear. And,
Yeah.
even just talking about it, and I know it sounds so pussy, and I get it, but it is legitimately nerve wracking, if you can understand.
I
get the thing.
understand. I
Um,
understand. I
Do
understand.
you remember any specific effect it had on you at the time? Like, I don't know, any way that it was disruptive to you, or anything you had to do to kind of like cope with your fear?
Besides locking the door and obsessively kind of watching the stream and
Oh,
at night.
I know this locking the store, locking the store. Yeah, locking the door stuff. Like sometimes I just have to lock the door. Like normally I don't lock the door. Obviously I lock the front door and whatnot. But my own room door and stuff like this. But sometimes I just feel like not necessarily scared, but I feel like uncomfortable leaving my door unlocked because my door unlocked. Right, my door unlocked because I don't know why, but the worst thing is that like I was reading like stuff about homicide law essentially, like especially when it comes to like intent, like dolus eventualis, dolus directus, and stuff like this, and this and that, and then no, the worst part was like murder according to section 211 of the German Penal Code. Which paragraph is it? Paragraph. Is there only? Is it doesn't matter. Like insidiousness. Like I cannot really read about insidious murder, especially if like half of all the textbooks and whatnot start talking about yes. So if you get killed in your sleep, it's always an insidious murder and it's always mandatory life imprisonment and whatnot. I cannot really read about getting murdered in sleep and then just go to bed and leave my law unlocked. What's going on? My door unlocked. It doesn't really work out too well for me. Which I know that probably if someone wanted to murder me, I think I don't know why would anyone want to murder me in my sleep. It's not a rational thing, and if someone really wanted to, he probably could, I don't know, cut a hole into the wall and put a ladder. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of get it. I used to do it when I was younger, and then I stopped mostly, and then I started doing it again because I'm kind of scared. Sometimes, but sometimes not. It also depends on how tired I am. Like if I'm too tired, I'm probably not gonna think about anything. Um, really? Oh gosh. I know I'm gonna lock my door. But like, I mean, the front door is locked, or the basement door is locked. The door downstairs to the basement is locked. I'm gonna lock the living room door and my bedroom door, and I'm gonna put the freaking axe and whatnot next to my bed or whatever I'm gonna use to defend myself. So obviously that's a horrible self-defense weapon, like axes and knives and whatnot. They're kind of bad because, well, they're kind of probably a bit too lethal, but not lethal in but not lethal enough like a gun that they're effective. Like it's kind of the worst of both worlds. Like it's gonna get you in legal trouble and not even going to properly defend you in any case. Um, yeah, probably. I mean, realistically speaking, if you don't have like access to a firearm, uh, or access to, I don't know, a crossbow, um, which I should buy probably, which I'm gonna buy soon, because I like weapons, and a crossbow is something that anyone can buy over the age of 18. Unlike in England, I think in England crossbows are restricted, or the UK in general. But like something like a baseball bat or like a very big stick, but you obviously then also have to speak quite softly. You know the rules. Like, a very, very funny history reference. You know, very funny.
And sneaking, excessively, just making sure that he wasn't constantly talking about me, or that his fans weren't. Those were the two main.
Oi, mate, do you have a license for that bar knife? Oi, mate, I'm gonna tell the Bobby over here that you're having a unlicensed bar knife in it. You're gonna be sent to His Majesty's prison. You heard me right, mate. If you don't have a license for that bar knife, you're gonna get in trouble, mate. I don't want to make you any unreasonable fears, but I just watched it on the telly that if you don't have a license for a butter knife, you're gonna get in trouble. That's how they talk. That's how they talk. That's all the conversation topics like in England. I recently thought about it, and maybe one day I'm gonna make a video on it. But I feel like there's some there's some dichotomy about people imitating English accents, and you either have to go like for this. Oh mate, do you have a license for that? You cannot pronounce the H's, as they would say. You cannot pronounce the T's. The British Prime Minister in it, a lot of in it. So either like, I'm not gonna even say low class, but very informal. Or the other way is just like, I cannot even do it properly. Oh, I would like to inform you that you are invited by His Majesty the King at Buckingham Palace for a nice cup of tea. I'm sure you will be most pleased to accompany me to His Majesty's most I don't know. I don't know any smart British English words. But you either have to go like, "Oi mate, you have a license for that," or, "Well, I would be quite pleased to meet His Majesty the King for a conversation about the policies concerning His Majesty's most loyal government." You know, so either very posh or very unposh, but there's nothing in between. You have to do the extreme to succeed in the game of British accents, and obviously just English accents. But it's kind of weird because if you say English, that's also the name of the language. But I cannot really do that. The Scottish accent is something I don't really know how to do, and like the Northern Irish accent, or accents to be more precise. In general, I also to imitate like national accents can be quite hard. I kind of feel like Italian and Russian are kind of weirdly close together. Like sometimes I slip like, "Da, tovarich, today we speak about Didoskit." Yeah, the Queen's English. Yeah, right. That's it. Today we speak about the man Didoskit. This is Kid who has dogs. Didos Destiny. Da. Привет, товарищи. I cannot do any national dialect. Mamma mia. You see, we should watch further the video. The video is about the... And then you kind of go into a French dialect. Today we want to watch a video about le Didoskit. C'est un boy US Didos le streamer Destiny. Oui, et... and now we should watch the video.
But no, I didn't like. When I was at school, or when it was during the daytime, I felt like I could relax more. I felt like I could, it would ease up. But yeah, at the nighttime, especially with the detailed plan that he lays out, it's definitely tense. Like not sleeping. It's just
yeah, that's also the point. The detailed plan. Like if someone just says, "I'm going to kill you. I'm going to rape your mother. I'm going to rape your sister." Mamma mia, I am not depressed, but I have not eat the pizza and the pasta. How should I not feel depressed? How should I not sound depressed when I have not eaten the pizza? Mamma mia! Sorry, what did I want to say? I wanted to say, and that's another accent that I think is quite easy to say. Like the German accent, that's very easy, I think. It's so good, very exaggerated, and what I wanted to say is that obviously I can understand that the DDoS kid, if someone just tells you, oh yeah, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna rape your mother and I'm gonna rape your sister, then you don't really, it's quite abstract. It's quite abstract, isn't it? And then, but if someone says, I know where you live, I know where you live, I know exactly where you live, I'm going to go to the gun store, which is approximately like 10 minutes away from my house. It's run by the company XYZ. I'm going to get, I think I'm going to buy a Glock 17 and some nice hollow point ammunition, and then got to pick out a nice holster too. I'm going to drive to your house. As I said, I know where you live, and then I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you and your father and rape your mother and your sister, right? That's a whole different level of Todsins, as they say in certain languages, like in Afrikaans and in Dutch, which obviously, as we all know, they are they are German dialects, as we all know. That's obviously quite more substantial, not necessarily threat level, but like you're feeling way more threatened, right? It is obvious, right? This detailed plan, quote unquote detailed plan, let's not overestimate like the planning of Mr. Borelli.
Like it happened, did I really do this to my family? You know, I'm a fuck up. I fucked up big time. I'm stupid. All these things are kind of racing in my head, and I felt really awful.
You're gonna get your You're gonna get your sister raped, boy. That's what his father said. No, just kidding.
What I did to my family, I felt awful about. I felt awful about DDoSing and messing with them. I didn't know that this was I thought it was a prank. I messed with kids on Xbox before.
I mean, it was a prank. It was a nice prank, but that's kind of the nature of pranks. As I said, it's something that you shouldn't do. As we already established, don't dox, don't DDoS, don't murder, don't rape. These are some of the most basic views that I would hold as some of the foundational principles of my morality. Sorry, but yes, it's not a nice thing to do, as we said.
And I thought it was like that, but not realizing that I was messing with somebody who I believe has some kind of anger, at least an anger problem. But one thing that I do think that like kind of gave me like kind of another thing that gave me reassurance.
I don't know, but Mr. Gull kind of has a weird expression on his face. He's looking so neutral, you know.
Sure, was my dad getting the gun and for safety at the house, a shotgun.
Do you remember your family going to law enforcement at all?
I do believe my dad did contact the local police, and at the time, and the local police basically said that this is an out-of-state threat, and that unless he comes to the house, there's not much they can do. They can they can file a report. So we did contact them, and basically they said unless he comes onto the property at the time, there's nothing that they could really do. They're not going to send a squad car out to my house.
Yeah.
They're not going to it seems to be it seemed to be based off emails contained but at least for now. And that's kind of all. We didn't get much in the way of help.
Makes sense.
At the time.
In Destiny's telling of this story, he says that when he was on the phone with you one time, he started sending you pictures over Skype of your sister. Do you remember that happening?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's so weird.
Like terrible.
I think whatever you can, even if you think that Destiny acted justified when it comes to, or at least excused when this is such a law brain obsession, that obviously justification and excuse is not the same. You can commit an unlawful act while still being excused, but not the other way around, I think. Or I must do. Wait. You can commit an unlawful act, but be excused. Yeah, that's right. But you can also commit a excused act and not be justified. Huh? No, sorry. You can. I'm tired. Obviously, you can commit an unlawful act, but be excused in the face of the law. But you cannot commit an unexcused act that is lawful. Right? Yeah. Obviously. What a kind of stupid question. It's not really a question. It was just like my mind was shutting off.
That's kind of when it went from a joke to being dead to like, oh, this guy is not effing around. I don't know if I can cuss, but not effing around, not playing around. Fucking around. He's deadly serious, and he really does know who I am and where I actively live. And even now, like I said, that's why I'm not on camera. But I did want to come forward and reach
Understandable.
out.
Like imagine if Destiny finds out about or if Destiny gets triggered by the whole situation, and I assume the Dieter's kid probably moved, and he finds out where the Dieter's kid lives, and actually murders him, and rapes his mother and his sister and kills his father. Then we have like a newer level of the whole Destiny true crime arc. Not just unconsensual recordings and stuff, but now we actually have murder and rape, and the people on the internet love rape. They love hearing about it. You know.
And like I said, I am sorry for DDoSing you. I'm sure it was a nuisance, but I wasn't trying to destroy your income, or I think he said that I was trying to force him to live like in squalor. I would never reach that point.
Which is ridiculous.
So
as I said earlier, like 10 attacks is already quite a lot. Like that's not like nothing. It's not like a minor nuisance. Sorry, but it's certainly not like life ruination. If he constantly desourced him and essentially shut down his internet either for quite a long time or so frequently that he couldn't use it at all, right? That would be, once again, not necessarily, or probably not certainly not an excuse for threatening to murder him, let alone to rape his sister and his. I'm saying the word rape so often. This stream is probably gonna be shut down. Rape. Just kidding. But like 10 times. Come on.
That's a lie. That was a delusion that he had. Sorry if my voice sounds shaky. It's fucked up.
No, I know. No apology necessary.
But yeah, I do appreciate. I want to say this. I do appreciate you taking the time to listen to my side of it. I know that the internet, especially at the time, he was like a beloved figure. He would, he didn't have so many controversies, and so people felt like I was attacking this kind of, this guy. And I was trying to bait him, but I wasn't trying to, like I said, destroy him financially or, hurt him and his kid or anything like that.
I mean,
I sent you.
That's also ridiculous. That this idea that he was like, or at least the implication that he was like purposely messing with Destiny's livelihood, and not just negligible. I hate this word. I friggin' hate this word. And why is the guitar right behind my friggin' chair?
A video where Destiny is debating a lawyer who goes by Pisco.
Oh, we know Pisco.
Of this plan to kill you.
Right.
And I think the debate took place in 2022. I think either 2022 or 2023. I don't remember.
When was this? 2022?
Yeah, that just adds credibility, I think, to my belief that this is some kind of delusion, that he can find a way to morally justify his actions, like somebody with bipolar, like I said, my stepbrother had.
That's so now I remember where this idea came from. That I heard something more recently about it. He actually relitigated the whole thing in 2022 and still justified it and debated the ethics. We probably should watch this, but not today. Like maybe some, how does Chad Logic call his segments, like drama reperspective or something. I mean, it's quite an old drama, but this here was quite recent, so I thought I kind of have to address it, you know. Oh, I accidentally muted the whole thing.
You know, his brother died tragically in a suicide, and he believes he can, you know, destroy things, cars, punch holes in the wall, and he can just, it's all justified to him. I didn't even know about it until you sent it to me, and you know, shocking to hear. I don't even know how to add like words to it. Like you just have to listen for yourself.
The video was posted April 4th, 2023. How did it feel? To be clear, you're saying the delusion is that from your point of view, you're playing prank because you're a 15-year-old and you just felt like playing prank and trying to make somebody mad and then laughing at their reaction. Kind of excessive trolling, maybe I mean, kind of a form of harassment because you are interrupting his ability to like do his job. But
sure, yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
But the goal is to like laugh at him getting mad, basically. And
100%.
You're saying the delusion is that he believes you're trying to destroy him, and so therefore he has to destroy you.
Yes, yeah. And I don't know if that's in the notes there that you have in front of you, but that is a quote that he said to me, either to me or on live stream. That was my plan. My plan was to starve him out. You know,
that's so ridiculous. That's ridiculous, as I said.
His child and him, he would starve to death, which is.
I mean, we can.
Unrealistic. I mean,
I mean, even if we agreed that this could have been a result of his behavior, it's like as I said, to once again be annoying. I recently saw someone on Twitter complaining about the overusage, or the supposed overusage of Latin terminology. So we can reasonably infer that he acted with culpability, but I think it is quite unrealistic to construct that he acted with dolus, let alone maybe not even dolus eventualis, but most certainly not as is implied here, dolus directus of the second or even of the first degree. Like obviously dolus eventualis is conditional intent, I think, or eventual, but conditional intent. Dolus directus of the second degree is essentially voluntary, and dolus directus of the first degree is purposefully, or if you already said the one is voluntary and the other is willingly.
Not that wasn't that qualified. You know, it's not a realistic. You know, it's not realistic.
You said the upper limit is 10 times. You think you might have DDoSed him? Would that have been spread out over 10 different days, or is it multiple times per day? Like
so like let's say the first let's say the first time I did it, I might have done it twice in a day, because I think the first time I can't remember this as quickly as I can. I think the first time he didn't know what was happening, and so he went offline and then he came back online, and it was like that was weird. Like internet went out, and then I did it again, and then he's then it was like somebody's DDoSing me, and so it was already kind of late at that point for me with the bed, and then I did it I would say two more times spread out, because I didn't want. I only had access to so many botnets, and you can overstress them. This is like a technical point, but you can overstress them, and it wasn't my farm, my IOC chat, so like I could have got booted off there if I was like abusing. So like I spread it out.
As I said, back in the day, I kind of looked at least a bit into DDoSing, not because I wanted to do it myself, but because we were like playing around with it. But yeah, I'm not. Can't really give too much input on here on that.
Out over like let's call it the first time 2 days, and then let's say 2 or 3 days later. So like 2 days later I do it again, and then a day later I do it again, and then I believe the final time and like I said, there could give or take 1 or 2 of these. And then the final time I think was after he called me and was like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. I know who the fuck you are. And I was like, yeah. And then he gets back online later, and I hit him off again then, and he was back on within 30 minutes. And then that's when the Skype messages.
Okay.
That's when or maybe the day after the Skype messages came.
I just realized that I earlier started a sentence, but once again, even if you said that like the death threats were okay, first and foremost, the rape threats wouldn't be, and also sending, I think, a picture of his sister on Skype, it's just weird. Why are you involving other people? Like involving the father, I can understand somewhat, because he at least is your legal guardian, who can essentially get you to do something. But like, what does your sister, or what does his sister have to do with it?
That's my full recollection of every time that I did it.
Do you remember how your friends, like you said in the IRC group,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you remember how they reacted to this? I mean,
The only reaction in that group was that one of the members, I think it's the one that leaked my IP to him. He was kind of just like, "Hey man, stop it. We're getting some heat on the internet," and that was that was the only message that I read. But this was not the top member. He was not. He was kind of like a run above me. So if I was a private, he would have been like a corporal, like just run above me. And so he was just kind of like, "Yo, bro, chill out. You know, like we're catching heat online."
But wait a second. Didn't he say one rank over him? But isn't I'm pretty sure like. No, in the army, I think. Oh, I'm wrong. I think in the U.S. Army there's like private first class, and then it already jumps into corporal. But in the Marine Corps, they have a lance corporal between the corporal, the proper corporal, and like the normal enlisted.
And that was sort of it. I'm not sure if anybody else was aware of it, not to my knowledge at least.
Was part of your goal in DDoSing him to impress the other people in the group, or have them think it's funny?
If I got clips, yeah, but at that time my wife didn't have to edit or anything, and but no, mainly I think it was purely just for my enjoyment because I didn't want to get like abused, like I didn't want to get kicked. The main reason for the server was to kind of teach like young people, like you know, like basically how this group that I got into was I met these people on Halo. And they were doing some of these cheats, we'll just call them cheats, and I thought it was really impressive. And one of the top guys, one of the co-founders, talked to him and kind of, euphemism, took me under his wing. I mean, we weren't that close, but kind of took me under his wing. And, hey, if you're interested, I can actually show you how this is done and how we do this. And so what we would do is we would link up on Xbox and play Halo, and then we would join up a team of 4. And then if like we were playing against a team that was if we were like level 50 in MLG, which is like the tough Halo ranked version.
I never played Halo.
So you would play against people like Walshy and these guys who are legitimate pros. And so like if you started getting beat by them, you could kick one of them or two of them offline and win the match, which is that was really the main purpose of the server. It wasn't really to like mess with online figures as much. Not as far as I know. That was like the main reason of it. But he also taught me like other things. Like
I mean, obviously that's a nice thing to do, right?
Like stuff that you can learn in 10 seconds on YouTube now.
Had you done any of these other kinds of attacks before?
No, never. I wasn't advanced enough. I had been on the server, let's say called 6 months, and like I didn't want to like annoy anybody. So like logging on to the server was sporadic. Like I might log on for like like a week and then like not be on for like a month and then like log back on. Mainly when this top guy was on, I was on, and I think he was in college or just about, like I think he just started college at the time, or something like that. It was like the summer before, or he started college, and so like at first I was more regular, and then as he started college and got a real life, he was off more. So
imagine getting a real life.
You mentioned that someone in the group leaked your IP.
A real life? I would much rather prefer a real death. Sorry. Once again, my joke levels is quite low today. Sorry, I'm tired.
P.
Right, and that's my theory. I don't have evidence of that, but it was just a message on like the main channel, like hey, who, like they didn't even know it was me particularly. It was like, hey, whoever's booting Destiny, stop. I think that was like the gist of it, or chill out.
Stop.
And that gave you the sense that he may have given Destiny your IP.
Right, yeah. I'm sure because if he had more access to the server, and so he could have pulled easily. I mean, since I was logged onto an IRC, he could have easily pulled it if he assumed it was me, which I'm pretty sure he did. But I don't have proof.
Okay.
He never confronted me after that. And there was never a conversation after that.
Did you ever DDoS anybody else after?
Not a public figure.
Okay,
no,
but still,
I like when I was playing Halo at the time, I did like do that for a little bit longer.
I mean, let's be real. I mean, many of us have probably done something like, not necessarily DDoSing other people, but messing with people with illegitimate means in like an online game. Like I remember back in the day, like doing like griefing, because there were like griefing YouTubers, like Minecraft griefing, and I always have to add the Minecraft because in my mind I know that you can also grief in other games, but like for me, when I hear the word griefing, I have to think of Minecraft. And I remember griefing a whole bunch back in the day. No, not necessarily that much, but like I watched like Minecraft griefer YouTubers, and I think I even made like Minecraft griefing videos myself, but I don't know whether I've ever uploaded them. And maybe I still find some of them on my desktop PC. I'm not too sure. Could also be on an old drive. I'm not too sure. But the worst client, like having a hack client that allowed you to fly and to do this and that. That was something. It was fun, but obviously also not really nice. I must admit. Obviously not. It's yeah. That's what I mean. Like when you're younger, it's quite fun to just mess with people, even in such a way where you later would say, "Oh, I kind of feel bad for it." Like obviously, if I think about it, that I just joined like random servers that that weren't where the owners weren't smart enough to institute a whitelist, and just destroy their stuff, for like sometimes with other guys, and I remember like I don't think I have it still on YouTube, like trolling people on TeamSpeak and trolling people in Minecraft, and I remember one time I kind of I got I kind of got I kind of got caught because I mistyped, and he essentially, and I wanted to activate one of these hacker or griefer or whatever, not commands, what is it called again, yeah, commands. And I accidentally wrote something similar into the chat, and he was like, "Are you using a hack client?" And I was like, okay, tangent
maybe
pilled
I'll say
again.
like
Sorry.
maybe like a year longer, just to win games of Halo. But like not like repeated attacks, just like to get somebody like a quick, install their modem, they lag out the game and stop the attack. And that was maybe like a year of that, on and off, not super regular. I
Any
was
other hacking or phishing?
no.
Oh my back hurts.
Yeah, later on later on in my college days, but not like the more classwork and stuff, but never to anybody to steal or scam their information. No, I was in cybersecurity classes. So.
Do you remember what made you stop kind of using these tools maliciously? I mean, not that
Yeah.
I understand you're saying you're using it to cheat in video games, so it's not super malicious, but
Yeah.
slightly malicious.
It is like we're the bad guys of the internet. That was kind of
Yeah.
and that was kind of our MO. Like
As I
there were
said.
people posting on forums, which I don't know if I want you to give out that post yet, but just because it has
Yeah.
But yeah, it was kind of the bad boys of the internet. Was kind of cool, but no, yeah, I just
I think
stopped using it because the game died.
I remember.
And then, and once you like achieve that level, you're kind of like, what's the point? And then you're just afraid of losing it. And then, as you get older,
Sorry.
you kind of realize that's like, it's dumb. It's not worth it. And then games also got better about protecting IP. Like you couldn't pull IPs in later Halo games. Like even if I wanted to, I couldn't do it the way I was doing it. So I would have had to like dot on to like a Skype server with somebody and done it like that or something.
I don't remember how you could even do it.
Yeah, just kind of like.
Could you do it over Minecraft as well? I don't remember.
Just realized it was childish.
Over TeamSpeak maybe.
Yeah, it was my street cred, quote unquote. If that makes sense. Dumb.
I think that's all my questions. Is there anything else you want to say or bring up?
Yeah, I'll just say this. And to anybody listening, thank you for listening to my story, and give a follow.
You're welcome.
He seems like a decent guy. I hope not to regret that. I'm just kidding. But I think I just wanted people to know my story and know that he just Destiny is for real. Like when he doesn't like you, he really goes full bore, and he will try to hurt you. And even if he can't hurt you, he will threaten you and intimidate you and harass you.
Yeah.
And I know I'm not innocent. I know that, but the escalation I thought was very unnecessary and quite very frightening, especially being a teenager. And again, I want to say to Bethany, if you're listening, I am sorry.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
Sorry that I did do that to you. And I hope that your life goes and everything works out for you. I know that you're currently struggling with some kind of a cancellation, but best of luck to you.
Yeah. But for, I'm not gonna say for good reasons, but for seemingly good reasons. In dubio pro reo, am I right?
Select everybody in the audience and to you, Max.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks, man.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thanks for talking. Okay.
Hold on, he's mixing a vodka tonic.
Okay.
Oh, no, I completely forgot that the father is also going to come on stream. I was about to say on the podcast.
Here you go.
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks for talking to me. Are you okay with me recording the audio for this conversation?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, great. Okay, so I've gotten the story from a few different sources. So I'm interested to hear kind of your side and how this ordeal affected you. That's really my main question.
Well, my son was young at the time, and he's very smart. He's always been interested in computers, and a little background on him: when he was in 8th grade, he was able to hack into his teacher's laptop, and when he would come in and turn it on, put it on the overhead for the class, had gone in and had the Playboy channel. So when he pushed the button, that's what would come up in the class. So mischievous, never did anything really, got any kind of legal troubles, never been arrested. But he was into this kind of stuff, and he's big in gaming. And
Yeah.
he told me about this guy that he had beaten or he had played or he knew about that was real good. And something happened with DDoSing, direct denial of service, and maybe a disagreement. I don't know the whole story, but I didn't pay much attention to it. But in the middle of the night, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, my phone would ring. I don't even know how he got hold of it.
I mean, especially for the father, it's so weird. Like for like internet cells, like I'm not gonna say for internet cells it's more normal, but like for internet cells, I don't know what I wanted to say.
My number, but he did some background information. They used some background information that was out there on the web, I guess. And he would call and he would cuss and he would tell me that he was going to take care of my son, and he would appreciate what he was doing, and it was costing him money because
When you say take care,
money
when you say take care of,
well, he actually threatened his life at one point, and that's when that was about the 3rd or 4th phone call, and that's when I really got upset. And at first I thought he
Understandable.
was a really deranged teenager.
How old was Destiny back then? Like, when was Destiny born? When was Destiny born? How are we gonna look it up? When was Destiny, the streamer, born? Okay, I just used the friggin' Google voice thingy. December 12th, 1988. So he was 12 in the year 2000. He was 23 when the whole DDoS situation happened. 3 or 22 maybe even. No. He was more likely 22 because if his birthday is in December, then he's obviously 22 for most of the year. Oh no. No. Yeah. Sorry.
And then I learned that he was actually older than my son, and he actually threatened his life. He said he was coming to see us, and I got really concerned. So I called the police the next morning and filed a report because I said if he shows up at the house, I'm going to defend myself and defend my family. And I said I want it on the record, and I understand why something can't be done. And he said, well, he's out west or Midwest or somewhere, and he's so far away, so it's just out of my jurisdiction.
Yeah,
said,
in
well,
Nebraska. Nebraska, Steve.
I cussed him pretty bad, and he recorded all of it and put it on the internet. And so I became kind of semi-famous at the time. I was called the DDoSer's dad. So a crowd of gamers that followed him laughed and played my video over and over, and he getting so mad. And he kept making remarks, what a fool I was. And the phone calls continued. And then I get a phone call from this guy that I told you about, the tattoo artist, the owns the tattoo parlor. And I didn't quite understand at first. I think he thought my son had something to do with harassing his son and with the gaming. And I explained to him what had happened. And he said, now I understand. He said, actually, my son goes to school with your daughter. I said, that's how
right. That comes the connection back.
So he wanted me to come see him. And I went over and explained to him what he had done. I said, he's aggravating my son. He's calling me in the middle of the night, waking us up, threatening us. It actually came to the point of threatening our lives. He's recorded me, put it out there on the internet. And it doesn't seem like there's anything I can do. And he says, well, he's done that or more to my son. And he says, and I'm tired of it. He said, I'm afraid of him. And he says, I want to get to the bottom of it. And I told you the other night, I used to take care of some micro friends or something silly like that. And I'm not into all of that, but I said, well, it would be nice if he got a message to stay away from us.
Yeah.
I said, I don't play. And I don't know what else to say about it. After that, I never heard anymore. That was it really scared me. It was the first time we'd ever had an incident where somebody that is online.
That's so weird. That must be weird. Like imagine having a kid and then essentially having some internet nigga. You can say it on YouTube. Some internet fella. Sorry. I mean, this video is going to get deboosted anyway. You get some internet fella call you and threatening to actually kill your son. It's just utter insanity. It is utter woke nonsense.
My kids came in contact with started actually threatening us and threatening our lives and threatening to come to my house. It scared us pretty bad. So we got a security system and I had a shotgun in the house. Kept our eyes out and opened it. Never heard anything else from him.
It sounds like you did not take it to be an empty threat.
No, I did not. That's why I called the police.
Have you seen any of the videos where he's defending this plan to kill you and your son?
My son briefly showed me a little bit of it about how he claims that he was so close to getting a gun or he had a gun and he was on the way. That's the only one I've seen.
Yeah.
There's another one where
it's pretty scary to know that these days that was out there, that he was saying that. I had no idea.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he's ever since then he's maintained that it was his right to self-defense to murder you and your son.
That's so ridiculous. Like I'm a big self-defense guy. I'm actually mostly okay with the current status of self-defense, which is quite permissive. And even there's obviously the state of emergency, which is the excuse state of emergency, which is even broader. But even that requires like a certain sense of necessity, right? And you cannot. And also, it's I think an excuse state of emergency only applies to life, limb, and personal liberty, and not to property. But obviously, self-defense proper, and the excused state of emergency, not the excused, the justified state of emergency, also applies to property, and also honor. By the way, at least I'm currently talking about this jurisdiction here. Speaking of jurisdiction, the Bishop of Rome sure doesn't have any of it here. Once again, bad jokes, bad jokes, bad jokes. I'm so sorry.
because of the DDoS attacks.
What's been done about it? Anything? You know anything about where he's legally law enforcement has been after him, or is he just
Right.
out there running around still doing it?
He's had a number of, I guess, scandals throughout his career, as you can imagine, from this behavior. Most recently, he's been accused of secretly recording sex with women and then sending the recordings to other women who he doesn't even know. So
Right. As I said, like he's not like a blank slate. He's certainly.
Has he been arrested? Is he under investigation?
he hasn't been
Sure,
arrested.
this-
My understanding is that a police report has been filed, but this was just last week.
Okay, that's pretty scary.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's
Look him up! Look him up!
So he's still out there carrying a grudge and revenge all these years.
I mean, he's got a lot of perceived enemies, as you can imagine, people who he feels have wronged him and who he's basically got seemingly has a mental list of his enemies. I don't think he thinks about you or your son much, but when it is brought up as a character flaw that you planned to kill a teenager, I think he was 22 at the time, so all these years ago you planned to murder a teenager and his father because the kid as a prank blocked your internet, and but even as recently as 2023 he had a lawyer on who's also a streamer to debate him about the ethics of that, and he stands by it.
This is scary. That's what's been done. This is the kind.
As I said, like it is unhinged behavior to a certain extent. Like I'm not gonna say I used to excuse stuff like this. I didn't really. People have sometimes misrepresented my, or misrepresented is already quite loaded, but misunderstood my stance on like Destiny and stuff. Like yes, I used to watch him, not necessarily. I'm not even gonna say quite regularly, but every now and then, because his content was quite or is quite suitable to run in the background while you're like doing something. What did I say? Sorry. I'm sorry, what did I say? I'm tired. I shouldn't be streaming right now. But I think the whole situation has kind of shown, especially the current drama about like the unconsensual sharing of indecent contents, that he is a certain character. I'm not gonna say Destiny is literally Beeble. Those who know skull emoji. But what I am going to say is that oh gosh, I'm gonna crash out for something completely unrelated because I'm retarded. And my chair is squeaking again. Gosh, what did I want to say? But it certainly shows like a certain pattern of his personality that like I know that character witnesses are not the best and are not always admissible in court, but like I think you see that he's certainly
Kind of thing
interesting.
They discuss about these school shooters and random mass shootings. These
That there was
people
some
they have
obvious
a media, they have media history, and there's people that had noticed.
I mean, I always like to joke about like a Vouch fan sooner or later committing like some act of violence, some mass shooting or whatever. But wouldn't it be weird, or not weird? Wouldn't it be interesting if Destiny turns into a mass shooter because he's about to get I don't know, arrested for his.
Just they would have seen these things coming.
Yeah.
It's a shame we can't get somebody to pay attention and take action before he does hurt somebody.
Oh, my phone is ringing.
Well, I
but
think the current
don't
allegations
have
and
time
police
right
report
now.
filed against him will likely. I don't know. I don't know what happened, but it seems like somebody might take some action. But yeah, it's surprising that he can behave this way so publicly and YouTube. You know, he's making hundreds of thousands of dollars per year on YouTube.
Yeah, see, I guess it's never come this close to home. But I hear
Right.
about it all the time. School shootings of people saying, well, if you see something, say something. If you know something, tell somebody.
Yeah.
But,
But Destiny keeps getting away with it. Like there were multiple events in his career where I was like, okay, that's gonna be the end, because he's obviously quite provocative. But kind of that is his brand, and to a certain extent, obviously, if he says like, oh, this person deserves to be shot because like he was a Trump supporter or whatever, then this is obviously like an outrageous thing to say. It's something that probably most of his proper fans wouldn't even agree with, but it is something that gets him attention and whatnot, and he can turn it around and make it turn the whole thing in favor of him, right? And in a similar vein, I completely forgot, but there were controversy upon controversy and whatnot, and I think what's different here is that there's actually like proper legal trouble, not just that he broke the law, which he arguably already did with the DDoS kid, but that he actually is under investigation and at least will be held liable in civil court. Not necessarily held liable, but has to appear and has to defend himself in civil court, and maybe even criminal court. Who knows?
everything that's done any good. That's the issue.
Yeah.
I appreciate you can. You're a reporter. You're trying to gather information.
I'm a streamer who I worked with him without knowing these stories for about 8 months, and then I started to when I first started working with him, some of the audience said, "Oh, you should look into this Anna thing. There's this streamer named Anna," and I asked him about it. And he said, "Oh, she's just this crazy girl. Ignore her." And to my shame, I did. I just kind of and I kept hearing more and more stories about things he had done, but he comes off as likable enough.
Yeah, that's also it. Like that, he's quite good at, and at the one time obviously creating controversy, and at the other time, on the other hand, I don't know whether I said one time or hand. As I said, I'm tired, and I'm not gonna react to any other video now. But he's also good at like, how would you best put it? He's also good at like gaslighting, playing stuff down like, oh, this Anna girl, don't even talk to her, she's crazy. I don't know much about Anna. From what I heard, she may actually be not too well. I'm not gonna say crazy, but not too well. But like, I never even bothered back in the day. It sounds like we didn't know anything back in the war. But I didn't even bother looking into it properly because we all know Anna is crazy. Is she?
And it's fun working with him, and I was making good money, and it took several months before I was like, I actually don't think you're such a good guy. And then I started really looking into his past and all these stories I'd heard, and they're all pretty horrifying. But the one about you and your son, I think, is particularly egregious. I think.
Has the FBI been notified, or is it to that? It should be to that point. They should know. There's a net out there that
My understanding is that he contacted the FBI to try to get them to stop your son from DDoSing him at the time. I doubt he told them that he planned to murder him, though. So I know that they were aware of the case on some level. But I don't, from what you guys have said, I don't think you contacted the FBI. So about this incident, I don't think they would know. No.
That's all I have to add.
No, that's great. That's all I wanted
That's
to know.
just my version of what happened.
That's
Yeah.
all I wanted. So
Thanks.
thank you.
Thanks
Appreciate
for the
your time.
interview. And also thanks, Mr. Girl. I know, controversial figure. I think, I don't know. Ooh, gosh, I just dropped my headset. But it's fine. What do we think, chat? Implying that anyone, just acting like anyone watches this. I think it was quite the interesting Oh, 60, not... I'm sorry. Oh, there's even the transcript. But that was quite interesting, I think. Oh, my mom is calling me, but I cannot answer. I'm gonna call back in just a moment, right? Just gonna call back in just a moment when I've ended stream, but most certainly when I've ended this reaction. As I said, I don't think we have seen any proper proof. Proper proof. Like, alliterations are my passion. We haven't seen any proper proof that this was actually the DDoS kid and his father, but but what sorry, I'm tired. I can't think properly. Stream is gonna end any minute now. So let me collect my my thoughts again. We obviously haven't seen any proof that this was the DDoS kid or his father, but I think it would be relatively easy to prove the contrary, especially by Destiny himself. So maybe he will start relitigating the whole stuff. I mean, it should be somewhat easy to relitigate it, to prove it, especially if Destiny can, especially if Destiny can confirm that it was indeed his voice, that he recognizes the voice of the father. I reckon that the DDoS kid himself probably changed his voice quite a bit. Cool video, and I just went from one just straight into the comments. Cool video, why not post on Rumble? Good question. Oops, I didn't mean to post it 3 times. Okay. There's almost no pushback here. Destiny brings up the frequency as being far more. Talks about talking to the kid's dad and the police. And you have yet to push him on any of this in the 20 minutes deep. The guy admits after the threats he still did it, which means after talking to his dad, I still did it. Since that was before both retellings, that means Destiny was right. I'm sorry. First and foremost, I think the pushback, it's a question of, I'm not going to say question of style, but it's certainly a choice how you want to design your your interview. Do you want it to be like a confrontational approach, which has its place, or do you want it to be like just tell your story? Those are different approaches. They have both their place. I would say so, at least. Yeah, very well, maybe. I mean, obviously, especially for the kid, he used to be 16 and now he is... Is he 29 or something? I forgot. But I think late 20s, maybe early 30s. Or am I stupid? Oh, 2011 was... Okay, yeah, he's got to be in his late 20s. If I'm not completely mistaken, he did it once. And how does it mean that the father didn't do anything? what is he supposed to do? Is he supposed to chain him to the basement so that he can't access his computer? That's too much for me to work on, to read. I can't even speak. I should have started. I started stream way too late. I wanted to start like hours upon hours earlier. But yeah, such is life. Oh, I didn't really see much. I didn't really see anything on Twitter about it. Should we check it out, chat? Should we check it out? Wait a moment. I'm gonna DDoS kill. So there are a couple of quote tweets. I mean, as I said, like, there's no hero in the story, really. Like the only one, I'm so tired, I'm sorry. The only one who probably didn't really do anything wrong was the father. Like, obviously the kid did something wrong. Destiny certainly. And so on. Okay, yeah, that's a good point. That the fact that he did it again does not really mean that he gets to threaten to murder him as well again. Oh gosh, I'm tired. I'm so freaking tired. I'm going to go to bed now. I'm gonna end the recording, end the stream. I don't know whether I'm even going to upload the segment because I'm obviously that was quite unfortunate because I'm obviously, and then I start pointing at this, because I think my tiredness kind of ruined it. But like, subscribe, ring the bell if I upload it. Who knows? Follow me on Twitch at currently at Freispilz. Might change it. Who knows? Good night, and just see you next time. And for all the stream cells, the few that may remain, I'm so tired. I'm going to go to bed now. I'm EP. I'm EP. I'm EP. Good night. See you someday, maybe, or who knows. As we established earlier, I'm probably gonna get murdered in my sleep. Good night.